A criticism that rocked Hollywood. Dakota calls out Jamie Dornan. Dakota Johnson was participating in a photo shoot for the year-end special issue. No one expected that in a light-hearted interview, which was only intended to talk about cinema and fashion, she would suddenly drop a sentence that made the whole crew hold their breath. "I think there are men who look strong, but are actually very cowardly. Especially when they turn their backs on you when you need them most." The interviewer blinked, thinking it was a metaphor. But no, Dakota looked straight into the camera, not avoiding it. "I'm talking about Jamie Dornan. And I know he'll read this. What the media never knew." More than 10 years ago, Dakota Johnson and Jamie Dornan entered each other's lives through their famous roles in the 50 Shades series. On set, they were a perfect movie couple, interacting so naturally that viewers believed there must be something real between them. And the truth is, there was. Not an official relationship, not public, not noisy. Just two lonely people in a harsh industry, finding comfort in each other. But the relationship never crossed the line. Dakota once believed Jamie understood her better than anyone. Until she went through the biggest change of her life, and he disappeared. The call was never returned. That year, Dakota had just finished emergency surgery after a car accident. She broke her ribs, lost a major film project, and quietly spent 11 days in the hospital, avoiding the press by registering under a false name. The only person she texted at the time was Jamie. "Are you okay? Do you need anything?" "I'm here." Not a single text. Not a single call. Dakota stared at her phone screen for 3 days straight. The person she once believed was her soulmate, completely silent, emotional walls broken on TV. After the shocking interview, headlines were filled with, "Dakota Johnson calls Jamie Dornan a coward." The simmering conflict between two 50 Shades stars finally explodes. Jamie turns back on Dakota when she needs her most. The media was frantically searching for Jamie Dornan. But he didn't answer any reporters. Until he appeared on a live BBC TV show, looking exhausted. "I heard what Dakota said. And I'm not going to deny her feelings. But I have my reasons." The presenter fell silent, giving Jamie space. "When Dakota had her accident, I knew, but I was also going through a serious mental crisis. I didn't have the courage to call. I don't think I was strong enough to hear her voice without breaking down. If that makes me a coward, I don't mind." The unsent letter. After that show, Jamie returned to Ireland, away from the media. In his cabin, he turned on his computer and wrote a letter. Not to publish, just to say what he had never dared to say. The unsent letter. "Dakota, I heard you call me a coward. And I know you had your reasons. I was afraid. I was always afraid that I wasn't good enough, strong enough, real enough to face you, the bravest woman I've ever known. I didn't deserve your trust. And instead of trying, I ran away. That made me who I am. You were right. If you ever read this, know this. I didn't choose to turn away because I hated you. I hated myself for not being able to help you. Jamie." Face to face, no longer on film. 2 months later, they met again at an international film event. No one knew they were coming. No one was prepared. Dakota walked onto the red carpet in an elegant black dress, her eyes colder than usual. Jamie stood a few steps away from her, his gaze never leaving her, but he did not approach. But then, backstage, they met. No more lights. No audience. Just two people, once friends, once more than friends, now two people who could not speak easily. Dakota looked at him. "You don't need to apologize. I just need to know, in my darkest moment, the person I thought would stay." Wasn't there? Jamie nodded. I know. And I live with that every day. They didn't hug. They didn't make up, but they didn't fight either. Dakota's eyes softened a little. And Jamie, he seemed to breathe after years of silence, what the public said, and they were silent. The media continued to stir. Fans were divided into two camps. Dakota's camp, she has the right to be angry. A man's silence is sometimes the most painful thing. Jamie's camp, not everyone is strong enough to love properly. Sometimes we become cowards because we love too much, but neither Dakota nor Jamie answered any more questions. No photos, no status updates, no more appearances together. Their story, like scars, not shown, but always there. One last time, and forever. Years later, Dakota released an international bestseller. In it, there was a short passage. There was a man I once considered a place to stay, but it turned out to be only a temporary stop. He wasn't evil, he wasn't a traitor, he was just too scared to stay. I forgive him, not because he deserved it, but because I needed to be free. Jamie read the passage in silence, put the book down, then walked outside, watching the sun set over the west of Ireland. He had lost her, and this time, he did not run away. Not everyone can be the one to stay. Not every story has a happy ending. There are relationships that exist to teach us that love is one thing, but the courage to walk with it is another. Dakota Johnson, the woman who overcame silence and hurt. Jamie Dornan, the man who learned to face his own fears. And between them, there is a past that no one can rewrite. It can only be left there, as a final lesson.